Video opens with a dynamic, high-contrast animation. A figure, silhouetted against a raging storm on a desolate planet, stands alone. Their spiky hair defies gravity. The camera pushes in slowly as a faint, crackling purple aura begins to flare around them. The sound of wind and distant thunder. Have you ever felt it? That fire in your gut. That burning, undeniable conviction that you are destined for more. That you possess a power, a talent, a drive that sets you apart. But then, you look over your shoulder. And you see them. Your rival. The one who seems to do it all with a smile. The one who stumbles into the success you bleed for. The one who gets the promotion, breaks the record, wins the praise, while you are left grinding in the shadows, your teeth clenched so tight your jaw aches. This feeling, this corrosive blend of arrogance and insecurity, of envy and ambition, has a name. We here at Limit Breaker Legacy call it the Prince's Paradox. It's the curse of being born with the soul of a king, but being forced to walk in the shadow of a god. It is the psychology of the eternal second place. And today, we are not just going to diagnose it. We are going to dismantle it, and reforge its pieces into an unbreakable weapon. By the end of this session, you will learn how to turn the poison of comparison into the very fuel that blasts you past every conceivable limit. Stay with me. The training begins now. Phase 2. The problem, visual shift to more grounded, symbolic imagery. A chess player staring at an unbeatable opponent. A runner watching another cross the finish line. The visuals are stylized, with a focus on the internal turmoil of the subjects. Let's be brutally honest. You know you're good. You've put in the hours, the sweat, the sacrifice. You've studied the craft, you've honed the skill. There is a voice inside you, a deep, resonant hum of potential that tells you, I am elite. I am meant for the throne. And yet, the world doesn't seem to agree. You feel it in the office. You've worked weekends, you've perfected every detail of the project. Your proposal is a masterpiece of logic and strategy. Then, your coworker, the charming, easygoing one who seems to coast by on raw talent and a good attitude, pitches an idea on a whim, and the entire room is captivated. The promotion you saw as your birthright is now theirs. And you have to sit there, smile, and say, congratulations. Close-up shot of a forced, cracking smile. The background blurs, a storm of internal rage is visually represented. You feel it in the gym. For 6 months, you have followed your diet with monastic discipline. You have pushed through pain, you have lifted until your muscles screamed for mercy. You've gained a solid 10 pounds of muscle. You should be proud. But then your friend, who started 3 months after you, posts a progress picture. They've gained 15. And suddenly, your own monumental effort feels like a joke. Your pride evaporates, replaced by a cold, bitter ash. This is the sting of the Prince's Paradox. The internal reality of your power and effort feels completely disconnected from your external results, especially when viewed next to someone else. Your mind becomes a courtroom where you are both prosecutor and defendant. The prosecutor screams, "You're a fraud. If you were truly great, you would have won by now. He is better than you." And the defendant, your pride, screams back, "No. It was luck. Unfair circumstances. I am the elite. I am the prince." This internal war is exhausting. But here is the hidden cost, the consequence you might not see. This paradox doesn't just make you miserable. It makes you weak. It forces you into a defensive crouch. You stop taking risks, because failure would be too humiliating. You refuse to ask for help, because a prince does not kneel. You isolate yourself, because you believe your struggle is a unique burden that no one else could possibly understand. You begin to define your success not by your own progress, but by the failure or absence of your rival. Your entire existence becomes a reaction. Your rival sets the pace. Your rival defines the game. And whether you win or lose, you are still playing by their rules, on their field. You have surrendered the one thing a warrior can never afford to lose, your sovereignty. You have given the keys to your emotional kingdom to the one person you despise the most. And you are left alone, on a desolate planet of your own making, screaming at the sky, wondering why the universe has conspired to deny you your rightful glory. Phase 3. The solution, the storm visuals intensify, and then, A figure walks through them, unbothered. It's Prince Vegeta, in his iconic Saiyan armor. The storm parts for him. He smirks with utter self-assurance. Enter the archetype. The case study. The patron saint of unbreakable pride. Prince Vegeta, born heir to the entire Saiyan race. A prodigy of immense power, arrogance, and ambition. He was told his entire life that he was the best, destined to be the legendary Super Saiyan. His pride was a fortress, built on a foundation of status, lineage, and raw, undeniable power. And then, he met Kakarot. A low-class clown. A country bumpkin sent to a backwater planet. A fool who should have been nothing more than a bug on Vegeta's boot. Yet this clown surpassed him. Again. And again. And again. Every time Vegeta reached a new plateau of power, he would look up and see Kakarot already there, waving down at him with a goofy grin. For years, this reality shattered Vegeta. It drove him to obsession, to self-destruction, to selling his very soul for a taste of superior power. He was the perfect victim of the prince's paradox. But he did not stay its victim. Vegeta's legendary journey is not about finally, definitively, beating Goku. It is far more profound. It is the story of a man learning to reforge the very nature of his pride. He transmuted his pride from a brittle, external thing into a core of unstoppable, internal power. He moved from external pride to internal pride. External pride is what most of us are trapped by. It's pride based on comparison. On status. On titles, trophies, and the validation of others. It's hollow, because it's entirely dependent on things outside of your control. The moment someone better comes along, it shatters into a million pieces of insecurity. Internal pride is different. It is a diamond forged in the core of a star. It is pride based on your own code. On your effort. On your resilience. On the simple, brutal fact that you refuse to quit, no matter how many times you are knocked down. It is a pride that no one can give to you, and no one can ever take away. Vegeta's transformation teaches us 3 core principles for building this internal pride. Principle number 1. The principle of the unwavering standard. For years, Vegeta's standard was simple. I must be stronger than Kakarot. This is external pride. His entire sense of self-worth was chained to another man's power level. When Goku got stronger, Vegeta's value went down. It was a miserable, unwinnable game. The shift happened when his standard changed. It became, I will surpass my own limits. I will be the strongest version of myself, period. This is an unwavering, internal standard. It detaches the goal from the rival. Kakarot's power level is no longer a judgment on Vegeta, it's just a piece of data. An interesting phenomenon in the universe. But Vegeta's mission is about Vegeta. It's an infinite game of self-mastery, not a finite game of comparison. Your rival can win the race, but they can't stop you from running your laps. They can get the promotion, but they can't stop you from mastering your craft. Principle number 2. The principle of the worthy rival. External pride sees a rival as a threat, an insult, an enemy to be humiliated and destroyed. Every success they have feels like a personal attack. Internal pride performs a kind of psychological alchemy. It reframes the rival from an enemy into a catalyst. A gift. The rival becomes the whetstone that sharpens your blade. Vegeta eventually stops hating Goku for being stronger. Instead, he starts using him. Goku's very existence becomes the ultimate training partner. He shows Vegeta what is possible. He raises the bar for humanity, for the Saiyan race, for the entire universe. And in doing so, he gives Vegeta a new height to aim for. He is no longer an obstacle to Vegeta's pride. He is an essential ingredient for its growth. The rage and envy don't disappear, but they are channeled. They become productive fuel, not destructive fire. Principle number 3. The principle of the accepted self. This is the most difficult and most important step. External pride is fragile because it is built on a lie. It pretends it has no weaknesses. It ignores its past failures. It creates a perfect, polished facade, and it lives in constant terror of that facade being cracked. This was Majin Vegeta. He was so desperate to reclaim the pure evil warrior he once was that he allowed Babidi to possess him. He rejected the part of himself that had grown to care for his family, the part that had softened. He saw it as a weakness. And that act, born of desperation, led to his greatest shame. Internal pride is forged in brutal self-honesty. It acknowledges and integrates the entire self. The victories and the defeats. The strengths and the weaknesses. The darkness and the light. Vegeta's pride becomes truly unbreakable not when he's at his strongest, but when he finally accepts all the parts of himself. He accepts that he is a father and a husband. He accepts that he has a history of evil. He accepts that Kakarot is, in some ways, his better. He stops fighting these facts and starts using them. His love for his family becomes his primary source of strength. His past becomes a lesson, not a source of shame. He builds his new pride not on a fantasy of perfection, but on the bedrock of his complete, flawed, and powerful reality. Think of it like this: you are climbing a mountain. For the person with external pride, the goal is to be on top of rival's peak. Their entire focus is on the other climber. If the rival switches to a taller mountain, they are completely lost. Their journey is meaningless. For the person with internal pride, they are climbing a different mountain altogether. It is called my potential. This mountain has no summit. The goal is not to reach the top. The goal is to simply keep climbing. The other climber on the other mountain is an inspiration, perhaps a guidepost for what is possible. But their progress is fundamentally irrelevant to your own sacred ascent. Vegeta's ultimate journey was learning to leave the first mountain and dedicate his entire being to the second. Now, it's your turn. Phase 4. The application, visuals become a clean, focused, training dojo environment. The narrator's voice becomes more direct, like a coach giving instructions. Text overlays for each step appear on screen. Philosophy is useless without practice. The dojo is now open. Here are 4 actionable techniques to begin reforging your pride, starting today. Get a pen and paper. Or open a new note on your phone. Do not skip this. This is the work. Step 1. Define your Saiyan code. Vegeta doesn't just have goals, he has a code. A set of non-negotiable principles that dictate his actions regardless of the outcome. Pride. Honor. Unyielding effort. Your first task is to define your code. I'm not talking about goals like, get a promotion, or bench press 300 pounds. I'm talking about the principles of your character. The rules of your internal kingdom. Take 10 minutes. Write down 3 to 5 principles that define the person you are committed to becoming. Maybe they are: I will face discomfort with courage. I will act with absolute integrity, even when no one is watching. I will finish what I start. I will learn from my mistakes without shame. From this moment on, your success is no longer measured by how you stack up against anyone else. It is measured by one thing and one thing only: your adherence to your own code. Did you live by your code today? If the answer is yes, you won. Period. You are reclaiming your sovereignty. Step 2. Conduct the rival audit. You cannot defeat an enemy you do not understand. And right now, your rival is your enemy. It's time to turn them into your sensei. Identify your Kakarot. Be specific. It could be a coworker, a sibling, a public figure you follow online. Someone whose success triggers that familiar sting of the prince's paradox. Now, open your journal and answer these 3 questions with brutal honesty. 1. What specific traits, skills, or actions in this person do I truly envy? Don't just say, they're successful. Be precise. I envy their ability to network effortlessly. I envy their discipline to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I envy their creative courage to put their work out there, even if it's imperfect. 2. How can I learn from this instead of resent it? What system or mindset are they using that I am not? Can I deconstruct their networking technique? Can I analyze their morning routine? Can I study their approach to creative work? Shift from being a jealous spectator to a curious strategist. 3. How does their success expand my own map of what is possible? Instead of seeing their achievement as something stolen from you, see it as proof that the mountain can be climbed. They have illuminated a path. Their success is a gift of new perspective. This audit transforms them from a threat into a free masterclass. Step 3. Practice controlled demolition. Pride, envy, and anger are explosive energies. External pride allows this energy to detonate inward, causing self-destruction. Internal pride channels it outward, into productive action. We are going to practice this. I call this the Majin technique. Vegeta's Majin transformation was an uncontrolled demolition. Ours will be controlled. Find a time when you can be alone and undisturbed. Set a timer for 15 minutes. For those 15 minutes, you have permission to drop the mask. You are going to let yourself feel the full, uncensored force of your pride, your anger, your frustration, your envy. Write it all down. No filter. I am furious that he got that recognition. I feel like a failure because she achieved that goal so quickly. I feel unseen and undervalued. Let the raw, evil energy flow onto the page. Empty the poison. When the timer rings, stop. Take a deep breath. Look at that raw power you just unleashed. Now, ask yourself one question. How can I channel this explosive force into one, single, productive action in the next 60 minutes? Maybe it's using that anger to fuel the hardest workout of your week. Maybe it's using that frustration to finally tackle the difficult task you've been procrastinating on. You are taking the raw, primal energy of the Prince's paradox and harnessing it. You are not suppressing the demon. You are putting a leash on it and telling it where to pull. Step 4. Acknowledge your Bulma. This is the final key. For all his obsession with Kakarot, Vegeta's pride became truly indestructible for another reason. It was when he realized he had something to protect. Bulma. Trunks. His family. His pride stopped being about his own ego and started being about his purpose. A prince who fights only for his own crown has a fragile kingdom. A prince who fights for his people has an eternal one. Who and what do you fight for? It could be your family, your community, your team. It could be the future version of yourself that you are trying to build. It could be a principle, an idea, a legacy you want to leave behind. Write it down. Be specific. I endure this struggle for my children's future. I master this craft to serve my clients with excellence. I build this discipline for the man I will be in 10 years. When your pride is anchored to a purpose greater than your own vanity, it becomes a shield. It gives you a reason to get back up when you are knocked down. It gives you the strength to endure humiliation, to learn from rivals, to follow your code. It is the why that allows you to bear any how. Phase 5. The proof. The scene shifts to one of the most iconic moments in Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta's final atonement against Majin Buu. The animation is epic and emotionally charged. Does this work? Can pride truly be reforged from a weakness into the ultimate strength? For our proof, we need only look at Vegeta's finest hour. His final atonement. In that moment, facing an unbeatable monster, Vegeta is no longer the man he once was. He looks at the monster, Majin Buu, and he is not driven by a need to prove he is stronger than Kakarot. He has already accepted that Goku has surpassed him. His external pride is gone. In its place is something infinitely more powerful. He thinks of his life, his sins, his failures. He has fully accepted himself. He thinks of Kakarot, not with resentment, but with a grudging respect, leaving the fate of the earth in his hands. He has reframed his rival. And then, he states his purpose. He states his why. For you, Bulma. For you, Trunks. And even for you, Kakarot. His standard is no longer beating Kakarot. It is protecting my world. His pride is not for himself. It is for them. And in that moment of pure, selfless, internal pride, he unleashes an energy that rocks the cosmos. An attack born not of ego, but of love and responsibility. It is the ultimate expression of a pride that has been perfected. A pride that is no longer about being the best, but about giving his all. This isn't just a powerful story. It is a perfect illustration of profound psychological truth. The world-renowned psychologist Carol Dweck, in her groundbreaking work, identified what she calls the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. A person with a fixed mindset believes their talent and intelligence are static. They avoid challenges because failure would reveal their inadequacy. They are obsessed with how they appear to others. This is the prison of external pride. A person with a growth mindset believes their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. They learn from criticism and find inspiration in the success of others. This is the freedom of internal pride. Vegeta's entire character arc is the most brutal, gut-wrenching, and inspiring transition from a fixed to a growth mindset ever written. He proves that it's possible. He proves that your mindset is not a life sentence. It is a choice. The great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." Vegeta, the prince of a dead planet, a warrior adrift in the cosmos, finally found his why. It wasn't a throne. It was a home. It was a family. And that purpose transformed his pride from a source of constant suffering into a wellspring of infinite strength. The logic is undeniable. Pride based on the uncontrollable opinions and achievements of others is a house built on sand, waiting for the tide of reality to wash it away. Pride based on your own code, your own effort, your own purpose, that is a fortress built into the bedrock of your soul. And from within those walls, you are invincible. Phase 6. The call to action. The session is drawing to a close, but your training is just beginning. The principles are clear. The techniques are yours to command. The only variable now is your will. So, let's make this real. I want to hear from you. In the comments below, I want you to answer this. Who is your Kakarot? And what is one specific lesson their journey has taught you about your own? Let's turn this comment section into a dojo. Let's transform that envy into a masterclass for everyone. If you are ready to stop being a prisoner of circumstance, if you are ready to stop letting others dictate your worth, if you are ready to take the shattered pieces of your pride and forge them into the heart of a true warrior, then you belong here. Join the legacy. Hit that subscribe button and power up with us. We are the ones who are never satisfied, who never quit, who always break our limits. Now, understanding Vegeta's pride is a masterclass in resilience. But it is only one side of the coin. To fully grasp the nature of growth, you must understand the mindset of his eternal rival, the man who embodies effortless progress and joy in the struggle. That is why your next training session must be our deep dive into the psychology of his counterpart. Click the video on the screen right now. The Saiyan's appetite, the Goku mindset for infinite growth. Understand your pride, then understand your joy. Master both, and you will become unstoppable. The training continues. I'll see you there.